When fantasy football is life and life just isn't fair, you put videos on the internet and let your friends laugh. This is excessive phraseology.
Disrespect your surroundings.
Hello friends! Hey, welcome back. We have the Week 8 recap today. We are just over the halfway point in our season and time to go over what happened in Week 8. It was a pretty exciting week. But before we get into the recap, I got a few things that I think y'all might want to see. I got the chance to work this weekend, which I was super excited about. As always, love to work on the weekends. But while I was working this weekend, I got to work with a couple people from the Pros League and the Leisure League, and got to sit down with a few of them. I sat down with Scotty on Saturday night. We had a little preview of the upcoming matchups from last week. We gave some opinions on what we think might happen for those Sunday matchups, and some predictions. And turns out I'm wrong a lot, as usual. And I also got the chance to sit down with the #1 spot from each of the crews, from each of the leagues. I got to sit down with Beach and Nice up in the tower this last weekend too, and try to pick their brain a little bit, see what it takes to be #1 spot in each of these leagues. So let's go ahead and first take a look and see what Scotty and I had to say. Hopefully you guys get a little laugh out of some of this dumb stuff. We had a good time making it, so here we go. Oi. Got a feeling. I'm high on believing. Alright, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Excessive Phraseology. We're here with the Week 8 matchup show, and I'm here with special guest.
Hey, halfway mark.
Scotty Too Hottie over here. Yeah, we're just over the halfway mark, as you said. We're only going to go over 2 matchups apiece because we did a couple trial runs and it took us forever.
Pretty long time.
Really long time to go over our matchups.
We're trying to go home. We'll wrap it up.
Yeah, it's the end of the work on Saturday. We were going to do it while we were talking to airplanes, but we figured that might look bad on YouTube. QBs? Quarterbacks. Quarterbacks for this guy, Philip Lindsay, who I love because he's a Bronco, going against KC, one of my streaming options.
I thought it was Patrick Lindsay.
Patrick Lindsay? We'll ask Beach.
Oh, yeah.
Beach probably knows about it. Their running back is Adrian Peterson. Not the greatest matchup.
I don't know why you hate Peterson so much, but Philip Lindsay will carry your running backs this week.
You think that Philip Lindsay and Adrian Peterson are going to be able to match up against Barkley and CMC?
I mean, they're not going to match the production, but it won't be that far off.
I don't hate Adrian Peterson, but I don't like him. I don't like him in this matchup. I think that he's old, he's broken down, not going to do well.
We'll get 100 yards and a touchdown.
Water bet.
No.
All right.
Njoku for sure.
Njoku for sure. He
Yeah.
gets a lot of targets. He's Baker's safety blanket.
Yeah. He's got a very high floor, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah. Yeah,
But,
not a low floor.
I don't think his ceiling is very high either.
Aaron, the disappointing one, Jones.
Yeah, find somebody else in these.
Yeah, Aaron Jones is bum.
Yeah.
In conclusion, Bird takes home the win, goes to 4-4. Captain Flagger Joe, he's going to lose his 2nd in a row, move down to 5-2.
Might be a week 6-1 there, Nice. You might still make the playoffs. We'll see.
Yeah.
Shields got Adrian Peterson as flex,
Uh-huh.
and Booton's got John Brown, his 4th. Pretty decent receiver.
Yeah, John Brown is definitely decent, gets a ton of targets. I know Shields has got a crush on AP.
He does.
Got a bit of a crush on AP.
That is by far his favorite player from the talks I've had with him.
Yeah, but I like John Brown.
I would probably take John Brown there too. Although, I said earlier, Peterson's going to get 100 and a touchdown, right? So.
That's what you say. You're not too confident, but that's what you say.
No, I'm not really confident on that. I hope.
Upset alert! Upset alert! Breezes, in Breezes we trust, that's Rudy's team. He is sitting in the #2 spot at 5-2. He's taking on Mikey No Knees.
Right.
Sitting at the bottom of the league.
Not for long.
Yeah, well, I mean, still could be at the bottom. Depending on.
He's down by a lot,
so
a couple
far at
games.
the bottom right now that he could stay there, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Barner. John Barner is supposed to be taking over that Sonny Michel role. I don't think he's going to do it. You do, though.
I talked to you a little bit about him earlier.
Yeah.
Due to game script, I think New England's not going to need to pass it in the second half. maybe at all. I don't think they're going to want to risk the health of James White.
Okay.
So garbage time touchdown, garbage time touches for Kenyon Barner.
Yeah, that's
I think
possible.
he's probably going to be the best out of those four, is my guess.
Okay.
I really like O.J. Howard.
I do like O.J. Howard. I think this is the beginning or the continuation of his breakout. O.J. Howard is better in all aspects than the other tight end there, who I can't remember the name of. Cameron Brate. Yeah, I think O.J. Howard's better in all aspects of that. And
What's up?
you want to come on, get in on it?
Shout out
Here we go. And we're just talking about your matchup right now, bro.
Oh, man.
So in conclusion, Nealis upsets Breezes. Moves two. Nealis upsets Breezes.
Perfect time.
That was awesome. Jordy's number one there, but that number one wide receiver on a shitty team doesn't really mean a whole lot.
True.
Cleveland reminds me of that kind of homely girl in high school. Would hang out with the jocks a little while, every once in a while, trying to bump into them in the hallways, but get really flustered, get really embarrassed, just drop all their fucking books everywhere and not be able to handle it. But then after high school, she starts looking kind of good, right?
Right.
Gets her stuff together, gets a little gym workout going on, maybe.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Some makeup.
Yeah, and then she's out at a restaurant one day and happens to see that jock. So the Browns happen to see these Steelers, right? And they just revert right back to that awkward high school girl, start fumbling stuff everywhere. Even though they look good on the outside, that inner clumsy, homely girl just comes out. So
Still ugly on the inside.
still, the Browns are still ugly on the inside. All right, thanks again for checking in. Appreciate you stopping in here, Mr. Scott.
Yeah, no problem.
All right,
Fuck
guys,
outta here.
let's go. Adios. Yeah, see, there you go. That's why I stopped making predictions. I obviously don't know what I'm talking about. That's also probably why I'm in like 9th or 10th spot in my league. But anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the co-main event of the evening.
As usual, I want to talk about Captain Flacco first. Number one spot in our league. He took on Bird's Bears this weekend. I really thought Bird was going to be able to try to knock him out of that number one spot. Did not happen. Captain Flacco proved me wrong in my predictions that I had made during the other video. I don't know if that part got cut out or not. And had his biggest game of the season while Bird's Bears cooled off a little bit. For Bird's Bears, David Njoku and Alshon Jeffrey disappointed pretty mightily this weekend. I kind of had that feeling that Alshon Jeffrey going up against Jacksonville wasn't going to do well, but Njoku was a big surprise, getting no points. 0. Big old goose egg. On the other side, like I said, Captain Flacco did really well. His whole team showed up with especially big performances by Adrian Peterson and Mike Evans. And we got a couple of highlights. Let's go take a look.
It's Peterson, big hole, first down and more, still going. Adrian Peterson inside the 20, the 10, touchdown, 64 yards.
On 2nd and 14. Fitzpatrick protected deep. He's got Mike Evans all alone. Mike Evans is in for a Buccaneer score. Touchdown.
All right, next up we got Mr. Brown, who changed his team name from Ohio State Black Eyes to Gurley Man, but new name, same game. Still putting up big numbers and still taking out people. This week it was Lights Kamara action he went up against, and another W for Gurley Man. Todd Gurley, his namesake, had another 30-plus point game. Other big performers for his team were Stefon Diggs and a waiver wire pickup, Larry Fitzgerald, who was my 3rd-round pick. I don't know if you can see it behind me somewhere. But, of course, I dropped him to waivers because that's kind of what I do. On the other side, Lights Kamara action had a huge game from James Conner. Unfortunately, it was not enough to take the win over Gurley Man. But it was really fun to watch. So let's go ahead and so I'll watch some highlights.
Drew Brees and the Saints. Gurley across the middle. Will he find the end zone? He will again. Rosen pass into the end zone. Touchdown! Larry Fitzgerald. Rudolph comes into the slot. Cousins looking, throwing, and that will be Stefon Diggs. Touchdown.
You can see the pellets flying, no question.
Here in the third quarter, Connor, spin move. Connor still going. Connor into Cleveland territory. What a rip! Steelers trying to answer. Connor to the outside. Turns the corner. Connor to the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. It's Connor for a first down. Connor all the way. Touchdown, Steelers. The dagger.
Next up we have upset of the season. Mikey No Knees, now of Team Car Ramrod, taking out In Breezes We Trust. That's Rudy's team. Rudy had disappointments all over the board. The only people meeting the projections for Rudy were his kicker and Julian Edelman. While on the other side of the table, Team No Knees had the biggest game they've had so far this season. Car Ramrod had big performances from all three of their tight ends. Yeah, they got 3 tight ends on their team. He ended up starting 2 of those tight ends though, so that helped him get the win. He also had a huge 2-touchdown performance from DeAndre Hopkins, and a catch that got called back. So let's go take a look at some of those big performances from DeAndre Hopkins.
Couple of fake handoffs. Watson standing back there alone. And speaking of alone, there's Hopkins. Touchdown. Gosh, he caught. Hey, John. Oh my God. He sure did. I mean, how?
What's up with those gloves, man? They look like they're kind of webbed or something. That's got to give an unfair advantage to the receiver. Anyways, great catch. Too bad it got called back because he pushed off a little bit. Next, we got Keep Calm and Carry On. He took the big win over the Golden Taints. Keep Calm and Carry On, that's Mr. Petrie. Golden Taints, that's Mr. Nemeth, as everybody knows. Now, Mr. Nemeth has taken 5 losses in a row. Gotta be super frustrating. There's still a chance to get in it because there's a lot of 3 and 5 teams in our league. For Mr. Nemeth, he didn't fall too short of his projections, but none of his players really had big games. On the other hand, Mr. Petrie had 2 really big performers. Marlon Mack had just over 30 points, and Will Fuller, a big game. He went out with a bang though. Going to be done for the season with a torn ACL. Let's take a look, see how that went.
To grow, and they've certainly been in sync today as Marlon Mack breaks free. Marlon Mack with one man back. Can Mack get there? He is pushed out
with 122 yards rushing. Play action. This one aired out downfield. That's Fuller. Fuller is gone. Touchdown Texans. What an.
Alright, next up is me and my team. Can't hide my chub. Couldn't hide my bad decision making as I took on Derek's Dandy team. I had a couple big performances. Devontae Adams, Tyler Boyd did well, but Derek's Dandy team had the more solid game all around. 3 big performances though. He had Chris Carson put up a big game, Joe Mixon put up a huge game, and Patrick Mahomes doing Patrick Mahomes things. So let's go ahead and take a look and see how that went down.
Chris Carson with the carry. And Carson running into the end zone for 6. Running for reps. Impatient. Mixon again. There's a lot of running room. He's got a first down. He's loose down the middle of the field. Mixon dancing through Buccaneers and gets all the way down to the 16-yard line. Yard pickup, first and goal. Mixon is into the end zone, and the Bengals expand their lead.
5 yards or more moments ago, most in the NFL. 2nd down and 5. Touchdown, Kelsey. No. Patrick Mahomes. Touchdown, Sammy Watkins. Patrick Mahomes. Crossing pattern, Watkins. To the pylon. Touchdown. Hill and Hunt in the backfield. Little shovel pass caught by Hunt. Broke a tackle of Ruby. Hurdles him at the 5. Counted for a touchdown. Holy Toledo.
All right, last and least, scoring-wise at least, is Ski's team going up against Sourdough Dollar. Lowest scoring matchup of the week. All the points in this one were scored at the running back position. Sourdough Dollar had a big 2-touchdown game from Kenyon Drake, kind of surprising. On the other hand, you got Mr. Ski. He had a couple big games from his running backs, 17 receptions, 170 total yards, and 3 touchdowns if you combine the performances of James White and Alvin Kamara. And that's what helped put him on top. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Timeouts. That New Orleans disposal that's caught by Kamara. First down. Tries to work his way to the end zone. Is he in? No, he's not. Come back and diving into the end zone goes Kamara for the touchdown.
Brady guns it for the touchdown. James White on the receiving end. Patriots go empty. Now White will shift. Give it to him. White, the angle and the touchdown for the Patriots.
Alright, that's it for the recap of the Week 8 games. As promised, we're going to go head up to the tower, take a little look and see what it takes to be at the #1 spot in each of these leagues. Here we go. Okay, headed up to the tower. Headed up to the tower here at the Tucson River. Going up to number 10. Number 10 on the thing. Going up some stairs and going up some stairs. Going upstairs to the tower. We're gonna have some good times. Open sesame. Gotta go up here. Gotta announce myself. Hello! They sound excited. Sound so excited to be here. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode. And today we're gonna sit down and have a little chat with the champs. To my right, I got the champion of the Leisure League right now, Kevin Flagger. What up, dude?
What's up, man? How are you?
Good, good. And to my left, the Pros champ.
Best of the best.
Sitting on top right now, Mr. Beach. I figured I didn't get this chance very often. Nobody gets a chance to sit among royalty like this that often. But fantasy football professionals and champs of the Leisure League, I don't get this chance often. I want to take advantage of it. Ask y'all a few questions. So we'll start off. And the first question I want to ask you guys is, who brought you? Who brought you to this #1 spot? Beach, who do you think is the reason that you're sitting at that top spot?
I don't think it's one player necessarily.
Okay.
Just strong wide receivers.
Okay.
By far, I'd say I got the best core of wide receivers in our league.
Solid.
Mike Evans, Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp. Injuries hurting a little bit, but those were my solid 3 most of the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Now that he's hurt, I've been rotating in Sterling Shepard, Godwin. Just picked up Josh Gordon from Corley in a trade. So, just a strong bunch right there in the PPR league.
Yeah,
they're getting 10, 15 targets a game. You can't beat it.
For real. What about you, Mr. Nice, Mr. Captain Black and Joe yourself? What brought you to the #1 spot?
What brought me to the #1 spot is my schedule.
All right.
My first 6 games was against the bottom of the league. Matter of fact, I think it was like against the bottom 6 teams of the league. So that's the #1 reason why. Other than that, I got a pretty solid core of players. I got AB, I got Mike Evans. So my receivers are pretty stout. But
Okay.
yeah, schedule, #1 reason why.
Gotcha. So a common factor between y'all having a lot of good wide receivers, AB and Mike Evans and Devontae Adams. Wide receivers. Good stuff. All right, so Beach, now that I know what brought you to this #1 spot, what would you think if you made a mistake this season, what would it be?
I don't know if I've made one yet. I think I got to see how it plays out.
Hasn't made one yet. All right.
I don't want to sound cocky as I say that. I just made a trade with Corley.
Okay.
I gave up James White and Kenny Galladay for David Johnson and Josh Gordon. Name recognition wise, I think I got the better end of it, and probably top end wise, I should have the better end of it. But just in terms of consistencies of what we've seen so far, it's a better deal for Corley.
Okay. So Corley not quite giving away his team yet.
Not yet. He's
Not yet.
damn close.
Gotta watch out for that guy. All right, what about you, man? If you made a mistake, what would it have
Oh
been
boy,
so
I've made a
far?
mistake. My mistake was drafting Jordan Howard, 2nd overall pick. Tariq Cohen has gone off, and some of the other guys also.
2nd overall, like round 1, pick 2.
No, second round pick.
Second round pick. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay.
Second round pick. Yeah, it's for sure my biggest mistake so far.
Yeah, Jordan Howard has been super disappointing. Matt Nagy was supposed to bring in and make him the next Kareem Hunt. Hasn't happened so far. It looks like Tyreek is taking that spot to rock the dinosaur hunt. Come on. Next question. All right, Beach. You seem pretty cocky so far. I don't know if you'll be able to give me a good answer to this one. Who's your biggest competition? Is it the other co-commish?
I'd say the other co-commish. We got, I think there's 4 teams sitting technically at the top. I'm number 1 because of points scored.
Okay.
He's right behind me. I want to say he's 50, 60 points behind me.
Okay.
He's got a pretty solid team, but he's volatile. I mean, he wants to make moves all day, every day.
He does.
I'm sure anybody in the pro league can attest to the fact that he sends probably every team 10 trade proposals a week, I'd say, at minimum.
That's a lot of trade
So
proposals.
he could be his own worst enemy.
So he's sitting at the top, but he still wants to make moves.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, man. And what about you? You got a lot of good players over there in Leisure League. Who's your biggest competition?
Biggest competition is Sean Brown, Ohio State Black Guys.
Okay.
He's got a solid core. When his guys go, when his guys go off, he puts up a lot of points. He's actually, I think he's leading our league with points scored.
I think so.
He's 5-2, and I think he's already faced the toughest part of his schedule. So, yeah, for sure.
So he's gonna be making a run here, possibly.
Possibly. Some other guys waiting in the wings, like you yourself.
Hello.
Possible.
Hey.
He's in the 9th right now.
What? No. Yeah, something like that. All right. So now we talked about top of the league and then competition. Who would you say is the most surprising person in your league? Who either had a really good draft and hasn't been performing, or had a shitty draft and made something of it?
Definitely Corley. Definitely, without a doubt, Corley. Sitting at last right now. I think he's got 1 win.
Okay.
Some of it's due to unforeseen circumstances. He had a couple injuries. I think he took McKinnon in the 2nd round towards ACL, so that hurts. But his team's not very good. It just doesn't look good for him.
Yeah.
Says he doesn't know we had a bunch of wide receiver slots.
That's always a good
For
plan.
as much knowledge as football as he portrays,
Right.
His team's rough.
Yeah, he does put off that little aura that he kind of knows a lot about a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Then you got, I would say, Silva 2nd behind Corley. Started off hot. He was number 1 for a couple weeks, which nobody saw coming. We all expected him to be no wins at the end of the season. Starting to take his L's, though. He's slipped down to the middle of the pack, and I kind of see him continuing to slide. He's making some dumb moves. The trade where he picked up Breda and
Carlos Rogers. I mean,
Chester Rogers, whatever his name is.
That's a rough trade. He was trying to make his team better, but yeah, not a smart trade there at all. What about you, buddy? Who's the biggest surprise you think from this Leisure League?
Biggest surprise is Dave. He started off 0-4. Everybody kind of laughed. Maybe not necessarily laughed, but didn't think he had the best draft.
Right.
He made what people thought was questionable moves, but getting Alshon back, Tariq Cohen, and some of his Bears have started to go off. And so he's won last 3 games in a row. I'm facing him this week. He's got a really stout team. He's got one of the highest projected point totals of the league this week. And I think Bird's been a big surprise after the 0-4 start. I don't think we have. I think everybody is where they're supposed to be at, based on.
That makes me sad. That's all the questions I got for you guys. You guys want to say anything to the league? Got any trash talk for the competition?
I'd like for the PAX Pro commissioner to put some more effort in. We're not getting interviews. We're not getting videos anymore. What happened, man? We're the pros, and we're looking like rookies.
All right.
No parting words, though.
No. All right. Thanks for checking in. Have a good day, everybody. That's weird. Adios.
Bye-bye.
All right, good stuff. Hopefully that was worth the wait. I know it's been a long time since I had my last video out. I can't wait to see y'all again. Thanks again for checking in. Adios, amigos.